Welcome to Masterclass Bass Lessons for the non-musician and chronic procrastinator. Your host, Alasdair Nigel Forsythe Slickfinger. Oozing integrity, exceptional knowledge, cutting-edge innovation, natural sophistication, and class.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's episode, where we will look at reimagining the traditional fretboard in order to create an easier method for translating tablature, as well as introducing a highly intuitive system of musical communication for songwriting protocols concerning the non-musician and chronic procrastinator. It is a lesson I like to call 13.0 multiplied by 4 time, the confectionery of music, a succulent baker's dozen recipe for navigating the fretboard, string nomenclature, and the fretting hand for greater harmonic communication concerning grooves, slides, and other forms of musical cabinetry. For the non-musician, the traditional fretboard is broken down numerically by using the daring technique of ignoring the use of numbers, but instead utilizing 3 arbitrary and non-numerical symbols. The blank or absolutely nothing stands for the numbers 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11. The good news? At least there is very little to memorize. Next is the dot. This intricate, ancient, and circular symbol represents the numbers 3, 5, 7, and 9. Think about that. 1 dot, 4 different numbers. And continuing with this logic, after exhausting all other possible contemporary symbols available at the time, the Papal Council of the Parvus Circulos in 1469, at the Conclave of Aix, decided that the ellipse and the oval were wicked in their nature and would cause deep arousal in the masses when fingered. And in light of this fact, the council chose the double dot, not to be confused with the colon, semi or otherwise, to represent the number 12. The advantage of this system is that if you are indeed a dot enthusiast, aficionado, or fetishist, also known as Pavlov's dot, you are in luck. However, for the remaining 20% of us, the major drawback of the system is that it is unimaginative at best, and at worst, it is a very ineffective way to represent mathematical values. I clearly refer to this inferior and nonsensical algebraic system as the dot, no dot, double dot fiasco, or the DN-DDDF. Instead, I recommend that the DN-DDDF be replaced by the baker's dozen, part of the culinary triumvirate for the fretboard. With this method, each fret is individually represented by a delicious and orally satisfying donut.
The donut fretboard, yeah!
We start with the open strings, which will now be represented by an old-fashioned plain donut. The remaining frets are listed as follows: the sour cream, the apple fritter, the double chocolate, the cinnamon twist, the Boston cream, the lemon dip, the vanilla dip, the honey cruller, the maple glaze, the strawberry dip, and finally, the exotic chocolate coconut. At the 12th fret, also known as the octave, we miniaturize, double, and repeat the same sequence. The octave notes, or minis as I like to call them, provide us with low caloric notes that are twice the fun. Further continuing with the mouth-watering synergy created by the baker's dozen. We replace the standardized EADG or ABCD for those who watched our previous lesson with a delicious selection of beverages commonly associated with the donut. The standard E string, now known as the dark roast, is a deep, rich, and powerful string, capable of waking up and revitalizing even the most pedantic of melodies, while simultaneously stimulating the lower bowel with its subterranean and tenebrous tone. Next is the standard A, which we will now call the hot chocolate. A warm, sweet, and creamy string, it shares the dependability of the dark roast without the booming jolt to the sphincter. It may be of interest that the hot chocolate is always served to orchestral musicians, usually by the oboe player, for tuning purposes. Moving on to the standard D. The D string. An edgy string with a moody tone that we will rename the
Espresso.
Used correctly, the
Espresso.
can change the dynamic of a song with a well-timed shot. But be careful of its caffeine-fueled fury, as it can be overstimulating. Too much use of the
Espresso.
can cause no sleep till Hammersmith. And finally, the G. Represented by the peppermint mocha frappuccino with a lemon twist. A dainty drink for a dainty string. Much like this drink, the G string is an indulgence that should be used sparingly. And now for our final ingredient of the triumvirate, we shall name our fretting fingers for precise interpretations of tablature and musical compositions in a logical and efficient way. The fingers are labeled as follows: the lick, the nibble, the sniff, and the chew. So to summarize, we have the index lick, the middle nibble, the ring sniff, and the pinky chew. It is, of course, purely coincidental that these terms are also the names of extremely rare and exotic Pokemons. Like they say, gotta catch 'em all. And there it is, a complete reimagining of the fret, strings, and fingers in a logical and appetizing manner. To get a copy of the triumvirate methodology, please visit us at titwinkle.com. And if you enjoyed this delicious bass lesson, please give us a lick on the like button. And for the procrastinators, join us next week as I'll show you how to tune your bass guitar to the frequency of a Metabelus 3 crystal and how to use your sonic screwdriver to make your bass amp dimensionally transcendental.